Hello there folks, Nerdy John here, and today we're discussing the GeorgeNotFound accusations. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another Minecraft accusation. I swear, if you don't get a Minecraft accusation at least once a year, there's something wrong with the world, They say that there are two things certain in life, and that's death and taxes. I'm pretty sure if we were to add a third one, it would be Minecraft accusations, whether it's essay or PDF file related, after all. Unfortunately for George, this is a rather ridiculous drama, in my opinion. So, this girl claims that when she was 18, her and her friends snuck into a party that was meant for 21-year-olds, and they eventually, found GeorgeNotFound and his crew. They were drinking, they were cuddling, and supposedly, apparently, GeorgeNotFound tickled the girl, and that's the accusation. That's the assault. Now, I usually try to remain impartial, and I will play a clip of the girl having her accusations against him.
I wanted to read this instead of tweet it because I wanted it to come from me. It's really hard for me to talk about, but I feel like it's important for other people to hear it. I'm sorry, I'm scared. Okay. I want to start this by saying I wouldn't be here without Shelby. I was ready to disappear with this secret forever. I never knew that creators were allowed to talk about these kinds of things, and I guess I'm still new to it all. I just didn't feel brave enough, and I still don't. But her strength made me feel like it may be okay. Last year, at the beginning of summer, I was assaulted by a significantly older and popular content creator. I was freshly 18, and had just graduated high school a few weeks prior. I was drunk in a hotel room with other people around me when it happened, and he was 8 years older than me and far more powerful. The full story is quite short. It was at a convention in a hotel room. It was my first convention I was invited to, so I stuck by one of my best friends the entire time. One night, we were at a house party when we decided to leave. It was me, my best friend, and her other friend. This other friend was romantically talking to a really big creator at the time. He was also the best friend of my soon-to-be assaulter. She wanted to go back to his hotel room, but didn't want to go alone, so we went with her. I didn't really mind, as I was up for anything. When we got to the hotel room, it was the creator, the girl was talking to, and his best friend. Not much happened that first night, just some drinking and talking at a table. The guy's friend had been passing flirts at me the entire night, but because he was the oldest in the room, we assumed he didn't know my age. Later that night, when I left, I received Instagram DMs from him, and in my Instagram bio, in bold, was my age, 18, confirming he knew how old I was. A few days passed when I found myself in the same situation. Us three were at a party when it got boring, and whether the girl wanted to leave and go to his room, or he asked us to, I cannot remember. Once again, I was drunker than the night before and was willing to go anywhere. I was naive, and so we went back. I remember a friend seeing me in the lobby on the way. They were worried by the way I was acting and asked if I was okay. I was really drunk, and it was an eerie feeling, like they could sense something was wrong, and I wonder what would have happened if I had picked up on it, and if I wasn't drunk, and if I didn't wave it off. That night, I went up to his room. Back at the hotel room again were the two friends and us three girls. At the time, all of us girls were already really drunk from the party we were coming from, stumbling and everything. There was more alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us. They said they would join us in drinking and insisted on drinking games, and, already drunk, I obviously complied. We sat on the couch and answered questions about each other, drinking a bunch, and the older guy sat right next to me while playing. I confused my nerves for excitement, as I had never been around such a big creator before. I remember getting drunker and drunker and really tired around this time. It was about 3 a.m. Right before the incident, I had answered a question about my age. We were playing a drinking game and talking about sex, and I admitted to everyone in the room that I was 18 and that I was a virgin at the time. I remember back now to him answering questions during the game about back when he was 19 and when he was in college, noticing how my future was his past, and I wondered how he felt sitting so close to me. It was a little after that, when I had resorted to playing games on my phone when it happened. Out of nowhere, I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch in front of everyone. He disguised it with a simple, "Are you ticklish?" I coughed out a no, still staring at my phone. I was overly aware of the fact that we were in front of other people, the fact that everyone else was sitting around us, watching us, including my best friend, and that his hand was inching further to places I hadn't asked for it to be. He made a game out of my embarrassment, where he would touch me in certain areas to make me lose the phone game I was playing. I was scared, and I felt sick, either from the alcohol or from his touch. It didn't matter because my mind was a blur. I didn't speak or move. I remember being afraid to even breathe. I stayed there for a while, hoping my stillness could make me disappear. I eventually had to stand up after many minutes for it to stop. I was scared to leave or make a scene out of the embarrassment. Eventually, later in the night, I found myself alone with him and his friend. Everyone else either passed out or sick. I was just so naive, and lucky or not, the night came to an end with just that. I went to leave, and the older guy decided to leave with me. We walked to the elevators, where I didn't get on. He then pretended that the elevator was broken, and that he couldn't leave, telling me to get in the elevator to prove it was broken, and then after a few minutes, he ended the night with a "guess I'm going now," leaving with a wounded puppy look. He proceeded to Instagram message me for a bit after that, simple flirting or asking about the next convention I was going to, saying stuff about seeing me there. Simple messages ultimately filtered into nothing. At the time of it all, I convinced myself I was lucky. I was lucky that that had happened to me. I was excited to be around such big creators, to be at that convention in general. I figured that's just how things were, that was the price I had to pay to be there, that anyone would have loved to be in my position, and that I should have appreciated it. That night, it was the first time anyone had ever touched me. I assured myself that I was just being sensitive about it all, that it wasn't a big deal, but assuring only can go so far. I felt dirty in a way that I couldn't wash off. I couldn't help the way that my body reacted and flinched. Part of me still wanted to feel cool about it all, to convince myself I was lucky so I didn't have to think about it. I would reimagine the scenario in my head, replaying it again and again, what I could have done, what I could have said instead, but it didn't matter. None of it did, because he never asked. And that fact would never change, no matter how hard I thought about it. I changed after that. I believed life wasn't fair, I was naive, and maybe sometimes to a fault, but I could only wish it lasted longer. I miss not knowing. I used to be kind. I'm angry a lot of the time now, at that person, at myself, at the fact that a year later, I can feel my heartbeat stop at the sight of him. And he probably couldn't even make out my face in a crowd. I can't stop thinking about who I was before it all, who I'll never be again, and how some things you can't undo no matter how hard you try. But I realize now that I don't think being hurt makes you weak. I think it's strong to feel things that have hurt you, and then to still choose to feel nonetheless. I was scared to speak out because I thought it was my fault, and that I didn't deserve to. I was scared of him and all of those who surrounded him. I was scared of his power. I was scared I was mistaken or remembering wrong. I hoped I was remembering wrong. I was scared to go to any more conventions on the chance that I'd see him again. I'm haunted by him everywhere. and usernames, profile pictures, and my own past. I lost the passion I once had for content, for anything really. All the years I spent creating this community felt like a waste because of one night. I didn't even want to log on to this app, all over something that I never asked for. I didn't want this to define me or my community or all we've worked for. I didn't want it to all be overshadowed by one event. But once again, this isn't about me. This isn't about drama. This is about everyone who's watching that is like me. This isn't about canceling. This is about real people's lives. I live this every night and every morning. With every touch I feel, I relive that room. It's about connections. One of my best friends, Rue, and I have bonded over similar experiences, and I'm sure there's many others like us. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by friends who support me. Without them, I wouldn't be half as strong, and I wouldn't be here saying all this. You don't have to believe me or my story, because I know the truth, and so does he. He knows. And I have creators and friends that also know, and some who were there. But most importantly, this is about my story and the stories of all the other people who have been silenced, whether it's by their own fear, by power, by this idea that it's not significant enough. Because if it's affected you, it's significant enough. I want to remind you all that it's also okay if you don't speak out, because you don't owe anybody anything. It's your story. It's your story to tell, and it's yours to heal from. And it's only yours. Sometimes the most healing treatment in the world is simply realizing that you're not alone.
I don't want to, how do the kids say nowadays? I don't want to invalidate how she feels. However, if you were to ask me personally, I wouldn't think that was assault in any way, shape, or form. Because, well, I mean, you're cuddling with the dude, he's trying to do a move, you are apparently uncomfortable by it, he stops, and that's the end of it. But, you know, a lot of people on Twitter were accusing the friend group that she's with, which is, I guess, from the UK, they're accusing them of poisoning her mind. Like, basically, they were making a big deal so that way they could cancel George, because they are also in the Minecraft scene. And, you know, it wouldn't exactly hurt them if George, you know, was taken down a peg from all this.
My friends or anybody else as a scapegoat for your fucking sexual abuse is disgusting. It's fucking disgusting, okay? My friend cried in my fucking arms about this, and you're on stream denying it all, denying the fucking hurt that you caused to her. You are disgusting fucking people. You and all of your abuse sympathizer friends, you are all fucking horrible. Seriously, you are so wrong for trying to displace this fucking sexual assault onto anyone but yourselves. You are a 26-year-old man, 27 now, trying to fucking put the blame on 18-year-olds that you don't fucking know. What the fuck is wrong?
Also, too, Dream responded to the accusations as well. And it's a weird sort of like wishy-washy. He seems to think George is guilty here, despite the fact that Dream had his own accusations, and it seems like George stuck by him throughout all of that. That, again, I don't know, you know, obviously I don't see their DMs personally, but it seems like Dream is pretty willing to jump ship here and neglect his former friend.
I know there's a lot of people that think that I'm so calculated. Everything that I do is so planned out, and that you know, I think right now that I'm being manipulative, and I'm trying to, you know, I care about just my image, or but I care. Sorry. I care about people. And I want people to talk to me if they have anything, any problem. With anyone, including myself. I never want to hurt anybody. I never want to do bad. I never want to do evil. I never want to contribute to anyone's life in a negative way. And I'm sorry. I just want to reiterate that, and what I'm just to say, because I feel it necessary to say, because it is what I believe and it is how I feel. I think that George left that night feeling the same way that I did. And I think that that's just as fucked up as the fact that I didn't know. I think that the problem lies in that George didn't know, and he should have known. He should have known. And I think that's something that he has to accept and reflect on himself, and realize. I think that he has stuff to say that he will. I don't know exactly what it will be or what he'll say. I love George. I think that obviously he's been my best friend for a very long time. And that doesn't matter in the context of the situation. I'm only saying that to give perspective into I'm just saying that. That's it. I guess I probably missed things. I didn't write anything down. I probably should have. Yeah, I don't know what else I can really add. This isn't about me. This is about Katie. So I guess I'll reiterate. I'm sorry, Katie. I really am.
Now, we need to remember something. At the end of the day, these are accusations. And as unlikely as it is up for the court of law to decide whether or not these accusations are true or not. And again, this is very unlikely. I doubt the authorities are going to look into a tickling case. But hey, who knows? Crazier things have happened. Let me know what your guys' opinions are in the comments below. If you want me to be honest, me personally, I don't think I believe any of this. Anyway, this is Nerdy John. Thank you to all the members of the channel. And heck, if you're new, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We do weekly live streams here on the channel. All take care.